I'm Rudy Husick.
And I'm Paula Ewald.
And together we took a group of youngsters to Plauen, Germany in the summer of 1994.
We took the Morton Prairie Prelude String Group as well as a combination of a couple of Morton Blaze soccer teams.
And the reason we did this is in a return visit for the Plauen folks that were here in 1990 and then again in 1991 for the Pumpkin Fest. So Paula, that was quite an experience going to Plauen with the Morton kids.
Yes, it was, and for me, it really a chance of a lifetime. And I would love to share some of the wonderful things that happened while we were on that trip. After we arrived in Germany, we took a bus to Plauen, Germany, and we had probably a 200-mile trip. So we got to see some of the countryside and had a picnic lunch, which was our first introduction to German food, which basically was our fare for the rest of the trip. We had sausage, cucumbers, tomatoes, cookies, and warm drinks. They don't use ice there. And that was basically what we had for the most part every meal afterwards, except for special events. When we finally arrived in Plauen, we were greeted by our hosts at the dance studio, where we were matched up with our host families. And there was a little bit of confusion in that, but for the most part, an hour or so later, we were all teamed up with families and we left to join their homes. The following day then, we took a historic trip to Dresden and basically saw what had happened probably 50 years ago in the Dresden area. We saw churches that had deteriorated from the heat of bombs during World War II. We saw other buildings that still were riddled with shots from gunfire, and we saw areas where they were still uncovering bombs. It was just truly an experience that we won't be able to repeat, and left a lasting impact in the kids' memories. From Dresden, after seeing a lot of the churches there, and that was also very interesting, these churches, of course, were all at one time Catholic churches, all converted to Lutheran churches after the Protestant Reformation. So again, that was just another big deal to learn all this stuff and see it firsthand. From Dresden, we went to Moritzburg and visited a castle there. Just kind of had a fun day of just visiting at that point. Okay, the following day then, we took a streetcar tour of the city of Plauen. And they, as gracious hosts as they were throughout the entire trip, they rented a streetcar for us. It was the oldest one. We got quite a few stares because they really no longer use that streetcar, so they knew that the Americans were in town when they saw that streetcar out. But we again got to see all the sights of Plauen. We were treated by the country to a lunch at McDonald's. Everyone received a free cap with their lunch. And after that then we joined the city officials in their city hall, their town hall, and we saluted Plauen and we were officially welcomed into their city. We exchanged gifts with their dignitaries, and then the Prairie Prelude group entertained them with a selection of songs that they had prepared. At that time too, the city officials had decided that they would like to fly Morton's flag outside the city hall for the duration of our visit there. They have an unusual manner of putting up their flag also, because they don't have the regular pulleys and hoists that we do. A kid actually had to shimmy up that pole barefooted, attach the flag, and then come back down. So that was really kind of fun to see that in the old-fashioned way. After that, the Morton Blaze were engaged in their very first soccer game, and that too was an experience, as the field was not a grass field, but it was made of tiny little gravel. So it was a little slick when trying to run and stop on that type of surface. Afterwards, a lot of people came to see the game, and a lot of the kids thought that we were big-time soccer stars from the United States, so of course they came up and they wanted all the kids' autographs, so that was just kind of cute. The next day then, we went to the city of Hoff, to a flower show there, and Prairie Prelude once again entertained the people that attended that show, and the Morton Blaze soccer team was invited to do some more sightseeing within the city of Hoff. On Saturday, we were invited to participate in Plauen's Spitzenfest, which is their lace festival, very similar to our pumpkin festival. They celebrate the fact that they produce lace in their city. And they have a big festival and a parade as well. And we participated in the parade, carrying our little American flags and walking and greeting the people along the sides. After the parade, then once again we had our second soccer game. Following the soccer game, the city also treated us to supper or dinner, as you might call it, in German fashion at a local restaurant. And so we got to taste even more German fare. And again, everything was a gift from them. We paid for nothing. On another day, we were treated to a boat ride sponsored by the Plauen Rotary Club. And not only did we get to ride this boat on this wonderful little lake area, but we were treated again to a special little snack. It was potato cakes, but of course we didn't tell the kids that's what it was. We were afraid they wouldn't eat a potato cake, so we called it a tin cake, and the kids truly enjoyed it. And then our trip came to a climax with a big barbecue where the host families and all of the Morton guests were invited to share one last meal together. We also were presented with an individual gift from the country for each one of us. Then we said all of our goodbyes and took final pictures, because at 4 o'clock that morning we would be leaving on a bus to head back to Frankfurt and catch the plane to come back to the States.
Okay, Paula, it sounds like you had a lot of fun. Would you do it again?
Oh, in a minute.
In a minute, okay. Let me share a little bit of video here from the last visit that the Plauen kids made to Morton in 1991. At that time, we had them perform in all the grade schools, at Morton Rotary, at the Pumpkin Fest, at the riverfront of the Liberty Pavilion down at the riverfront in Peoria, and I think we also made a performance for Bee Care. But one of the highlights was the fashion show. The Plauen at 10 studio had an array of fashion items along, from sportswear to bridal gowns. And of course the bridal gowns are made out of this lace that is made in Plauen. And they performed, this performance was made at the Sam Lehman car dealership here on Detroit Street in Morton. So Paula, the way it looks, the kids will will arrive in Chicago on the 7th of September. The tentative schedule that we've just talked about so far is we'll bring them home to Morton, match them up with their host families. On Saturday then, take them to Six Flags. On Sunday, it's kind of open. But the big event that I think we have scheduled so far is the Monday night junior high school performance, and we hope that it can be done in conjunction with the Bertha Frank group as a benefit to the Bertha Frank organization, and that will be followed by a reception Monday night to which all folks from Morton will be invited. And then there's some free days in there, and the kids again will perform in all the grade schools. We'll have them in the pumpkin tent, I believe, on Thursday evening, and Saturday is the parade. We'll participate in the Morton Pumpkin Parade, and then Sunday we'll have our barbecue party if everything goes well, and then Monday we'll take them back to Chicago.
Well, that sounds great, Rudy. we're hoping too to squeeze in maybe a trip to other sites in Illinois so that they can get a flavor of what our community and what our state is like. We've received letters from the Plauen people, and they are very excited about coming, and we are very excited about reciprocating the gracious hospitality that they extended to us when we visited there.
Well, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it, and so are you.
Yes, you betcha.